Okay, we're here with Brian Gould of West Windsor, Plainsboro North. Um, they are the fastest public school team average ever at Holmdel Park at 16:15.1, and he's proud of the continuous success they've had over the last 15 years. Welcome.
Thank you, Jay.
Let's get right into this. So summer training, that's what the subject is. How much time do you give the kids off after spring track?
The short answer is 2 weeks, and I would say it depends on the kid. If we have somebody, typically 2 weeks off just to recharge physically, emotionally, kind of, be a kid, I think is important. If we have a kid who has a history of coming back from long breaks and getting hurt, then we can be a little more creative with how we do that. We've done things like a week off and then run out every other day, some cross training, take 2 weeks where you are active every third day, so you still get more time off than you are running or doing anything. But for the most part, it's 2 weeks, unless history gives us a reason to try something different.
And that's 2 weeks, and that's no running and no cross training?
I tell them, take 2 weeks to be like your friends,
Okay.
Just hang out, do stuff that's fun. I think they get antsy after about a week and go out, but the instruction is to.
Absolutely. So when you do start meeting, how many days a week do you meet?
The last, I would say 3 years, we're meeting Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We meet off campus. We're going to spend the next 9 to 10 months running around school, so we meet at different parks. It's all optional. So in West Windsor, you have kind of like a waiver system, and you can do any summer workout. So they have to complete this waiver. I think I've become a little more lax and flexible in the more recent years, about just putting out there to the kids, we're here. There's a lot of people training. Summer training is already very hard. It's harder when you do it by yourself. So my recommendation is you come and get together with your teammates. It's more fun to train with a teammate. It's more effective to train with a teammate. It's safer to train with a teammate. And then this year, Tuesdays and Thursdays, we have another coach who's at the high school in the weight room. So they have an opportunity all 5 days a week to go. Like I said, it's all optional, but in terms of running in a group, that's Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 3 days a week.
That's morning or evening?
We're doing mornings right now. The heat's been tough. A few years ago, we did evenings, and what we ran into was like 2 out of 3 evenings we met, there'd be a huge thunderstorm, and we'd end up inside. So we have some kids in West Windsor who will take classes in the summer in the morning. So right now we're working on trying to give an evening option as well without really like diluting the group, and trying to keep everybody together in one session.
So how does training evolve from the start of summer to September, and what I mean by the first day of school?
Okay, so our summer is focused, our primary focus is volume, the mileage run as a whole, number of days per week that we're running, maybe average miles per day that we're running, time on feet. A lot of times we do minutes because we're looking at their time on their feet. We use a funnel periodization approach. So that's, if you imagine like kind of like 2/3 of a triangle like that, there's an endurance side and a speed side. So we're looking just at aerobic fitness, and then also biomechanics, all that like glycolic, I guess to use a less scientific term, just speed and athleticism. So we're addressing the endurance piece just by putting minutes on our feet, mileage, maybe supplementing that with swimming or biking on days, the week we've had this past week has been really hot. And then on the other side, we're doing, hill sprints, very short hill sprints, 10 seconds, 50, 60 meters, sprint drills, short, fast strides, where kids are getting in the weight room and they're doing some Olympic lifts, some heavy lifts. So they're building up their muscular power and what's going to become the base and foundation of their speed, as well as their, just aerobic, easy, conversational pace running. And then, as the season goes on, we're trying to get that mileage to be faster, and we're trying to get the speed to be extended out longer, so that when we get to October, November, it meets at the point of that funnel, and that's whatever the goal 5K is. So by September 1st, by the beginning of school, we're trying to hit our peak of mileage per week for the season. That's where we kind of look at getting up to the apex of that bell curve, and getting to the point where we're ready to do some fast running interval workouts in the coming weeks.
Okay, so better define that. When you get to the start of that, are you doing the distance and then doing the hill sprints after it, or are you doing distance one day and hill sprints and other things on another day?
The latter. So what we'll do is, so for example, yesterday it was really hot. We did a segmented run. So instead of going out and dragging for 45 minutes, we did 20 minutes, 15 minutes, 10 minutes, with short breaks in between, getting some water. The quality of the mileage just is better. We're not racing, but jogging doesn't help either. And then the day that we did our speed this week, we treat it as a sprinter would do a workout. It's a light warm up, sprint drills, build up strides, and we do the hills immediately. And then we'll either add on some mileage immediately afterwards, or because we're meeting in the morning, they have the option also of, okay, go out this evening and run 30 minutes easy.
Okay. How important is the summer to your season?
I believe summer cross country is not like any other sport, even within what we do, right? It's 4 months, it's a grind, and when school starts, the season's half over. And the kids who spend their summer being active and doing running, doing workouts, and getting together with their team are, without question, are more successful over the fall, if for no other reason than they've built up progressively, they're able to stay healthy, right? Like that's such a big part of cross country, is can you get through those 4 months without a big interruption? I've definitely had kids in the past who have come in to the game late, and I thought this is not going to go well, and they have proven me wrong. I still wouldn't recommend that. I think the safest, healthiest, and most effective way to go about having an outstanding cross country season is to spend the first half of it training to train, and then when school starts, you start training to race.
So how do you create your team culture?
That's a good question. I don't know that I'm creating it. I think like we have a great group of guys, a great group of girls. We do things together. We have four coaches, myself and three outstanding coaches: Liz Guarini, Warren Gerstacker, Dan Maida. And I think what's really important is that we all value the same things, and we all have the same end in mind. We have the same goals in mind, and we're all very focused on being transformational versus transactional, and really loving training and becoming almost like obsessive with the process. And our athletes really buy into that, and they really value the process as well. So I think by having this group where what you do is not as important as how you do it, that allows everyone on that team to have an equally valuable role, whether it's Joe Rosa, Lily Shapiro, who's going to go out and beat the world, or we had a kid, his name is Anthony Lee, who was one of the slowest kids on our team, a thoroughful corner. He was the slowest kid on my team in 9th grade, and in 10th and in 12th grade he ran 150 and anchored a national championship 4 by mile. Without a culture of being process focused, where everybody's important, he probably doesn't stay for 4 years. So feedback, I think, is very important. Giving the kids feedback based on effort, based on controllables. We'll do meet sheets after the races with comments, like, love the way you went out hard, you took a risk, you showed courage. And just taking a little bit of time each day to like shake hands, look somebody in the eye, talk to them, letting them know their name, and that you value what they do, helps them to focus on the process. And when people together are focused on the process, then the product is incidental, right? It just happens.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much, and have a great season.
Thank you. So.
Thank you.